This is exactly why I'm a buyer, even with the tariff news. What's going on, guys? Mr. Zink here. Let's talk about tariffs. More importantly, let's talk about what stocks to watch with Trump's tariffs. These stocks, I think, are going to do well regardless of the current economic conditions as well as the current tariffs in place by President Trump. Let's dig right into it. First off, if you've been living under a rock for the past week, month, 6 months even, go on your news source, Google, Safari, look up tariff news, scroll through. You'll see more pictures of President Trump than you care to. Love or hate the guy. I like him. I'm not a big fan of him right now. Neither is my portfolio. Go ahead and catch up on the current tariff news here. I will be covering it in the video, but if you want to read more about it, here's your source. Man, I don't know how Trump's smiling through this shit, but so the program that President Trump put into place yesterday was the reciprocal tariff program at the Liberation Day speech on April 2nd at about 4:15 p.m. EST. The reciprocal tariff program, I'll scroll down to the chart here, is a discounted program based on the tariffs charged by opposing countries. China charges a 67% tariff on all imports from the U.S., Therefore, we're going to charge 50% of that to China. So 67%, half of that is 34, rounded up. European Union, 39%, half of that is 20% rounded up. Vietnam, 90%. 46%, I'm not entirely sure why they didn't go with 45. Screw Vietnam, I guess. Taiwan semi, just Taiwan. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Taiwan semi. Taiwan, 64%, half of that, 32%. Japan, 46, half is 24. I don't know why they didn't do 23 there. So on and so forth. The important factor with these tariffs, I'm going to leave this list up so you guys can go and look through it yourself, is what do those countries import the most? China is the largest importer of electronic goods into the U.S. European Union, relatively small, not really necessary imports. We don't need to look at that one so much. Vietnam, raw materials such as rice, raw materials that go into cooking goods, wood, balsa wood, stuff along those lines. Taiwan, major importer of semiconductors. That goes for China as well. They are a major importer of semiconductors. India, raw materials. South Korea, raw materials. Thailand, raw materials. United Kingdom, not really anything there. That's why they got slapped with the 10% tariff. Cambodia, big ol' F you to Cambodia. 97% tariff is what the Cambodians charge to the U.S. We are charging them with 49%. Absolutely insane. Bangladesh, Singapore, Israel, Philippines, Chile, Australia, Pakistan, Turkey, Sri Lanka, Colombia, Peru, Nicaragua, so on and so forth. Most of these countries import raw materials that are used for production within the U.S., especially Brazil. One of those larger stocks for Brazil is Vale. Vale is I believe they're the largest miner in the world of raw materials such as iron, zinc, lead, copper, and lithium. So that's something to look out for electric companies, really anything that uses electricity. We're going to break down Tesla in this video as well, so stay tuned. The major one that we're looking at, and I'm going to correlate this to stocks that you don't want to purchase. I don't want to purchase at the moment. That's just my personal opinion. This is all for education, obviously. Don't sue me. China is the largest importer of Apple products. So Apple was the biggest loser today. Apple had a negative 9.25% day. $20 drop in a single day. Absolutely insane for Apple. I believe that correlates to about $400 billion, $300 billion just gone, evaporated, poof, into the abyss. China imports 85% of all Apple products used within the U.S. Yes, that is an incredibly large statistic. If anyone remembers that factory that went up a couple of years ago that has about 250,000 workers, that is located in China. That is Apple's factory located in China. I think it's Fox something. 67% is what China charges us. 34% is what we're going to slap on them. If an iPhone costs $1,000, that iPhone is now $1,300. Have fun getting that for your kid for Christmas. Brazil, 10%. That one's not really that bad. Most of the countries that import the larger importers of raw materials, those ones are all slapped with 10%. Those will likely go away if the country comes to an agreement with President Trump and his administration. We'll see. China's the big one to look at. Simple as that. Taiwan as well. European Union we don't really care about. But China is at the top of the list, and it's at the top of the list for a reason. China is home to most of the factories that have pumped out stuff like NVIDIA. AMD is within China. AMD down 9% today. Again, Apple, biggest loser from the day. What's another one we got here? Tesla, but this is an interesting story here. Tesla wasn't that big of a loser today. We're going to cover this one again later in the video, so make sure to stay tuned. Another one, TSM, major loser today, 7.6% down. And then our favorite, Soxel, down a whopping 30% today, 29.83. Oh my God. But let's break down the stocks to buy. We've looked enough at the negative. Let's take a look at what the positive of this outcome is and stocks that we should be buying at the moment. One other thing I'd like to cover as well, the Fear Greed Index. Oh my God, sitting at 8. I have never seen it this low. Tesla. This is going to be my main bullish thesis for the year. If you haven't seen my video on that yet, make sure to go check it out here. As for this video, Tesla will not be nearly as susceptible to tariffs as all the other mega cap companies such as Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta. Meta is another fishy one. We'll talk about that later in the video. But Tesla, for now, has the largest network of any company in the world. And what I mean by that network is they have a gigafactory. Looking at this map to the right, they have a gigafactory in every major corner of the world. They have 4 gigafactories in the U.S. The U.S. is larger than all the European countries, just about all the European countries put together. They have 2 gigafactories in Nevada and then another one in Fremont, California. They have a gigafactory in New York. They have a gigafactory in Texas. There is a proposed gigafactory or one that is currently being built in Mexico. This is a picture from 2023, so that gigafactory is just about done. India is the next one to get a gigafactory. Berlin, Germany, which covers all of the European Union. That's where all the Teslas that are bought within the European Union come from, the Berlin gigafactory. And then Tesla in the Shanghai gigafactory. Located where? Shanghai, China. Is Tesla going to have to import or export any of their vehicles to China? No, because they have a absolutely massive gigafactory located within China that is pumping out vehicles like you wouldn't believe. They have those little Chinese workers over there with no labor laws working 24/7, pumping out vehicles for fun. We also have the Saudi Arabia and Turkey gigafactories well underway. What you should gather from this map is that Tesla doesn't care about tariffs. They're not importing or exporting anywhere. If so, the imports or exports that Tesla has is 10% to 15%, and that is due to back orders. Okay? If Tesla has just a crazy increase in volume, they have to import or export some vehicles. But they have the capability as it stands to import nothing. They don't have to import or export anything because they have a gigafactory established everywhere. The only people that aren't getting Teslas are the penguins in Antarctica, but they'll get them soon enough. I'm sure we'll establish a gigafactory in Antarctica in the next 10 years with Elon's push for success. What you should gather from this is that Tesla doesn't need to worry about anything other than raw materials. And if we scroll back up to these countries that are tariffed on raw materials, Brazil, remember Vale, lithium, iron, zinc, copper, all that stuff that goes into batteries, they're only getting tariffed at 10%. So we might see a 10% increase on the cost that it takes to build a Tesla. But that's not where the main cost is. That might increase the cost of a Tesla by $1,000 to $2,000. The main cost is in manufacturing and labor. 10% on Brazil, 10% on Peru, 10% on United Arab Emirates, 10% on Dominican Republic, Honduras, Guatemala, 12% on Ecuador, 10% on Argentina. All these places that export raw materials, Tesla's not going to have to worry much about. Okay? We might see a marginal increase in Tesla prices, but this one should not be susceptible to tariffs at the same rate that Apple is. The next set of stocks that we're talking about, forgive me, I can't show Coca-Cola on here because of copyright issues. Coca-Cola, I don't know why you have these in place. Coca-Cola and Pepsi. This is a great stock to add right now. Not something that I'm going to, but a great one to add nonetheless. Up 3% just about today. This is a safe haven demand stock. This is one that is not going anywhere. People drink their Coke regardless of what the tariffs are doing. Most of Coca-Cola is produced within the U.S. The only thing that they import is the materials to produce Coke. Okay. Pepsi, another one, but we don't need to cover that. You get the idea. Bitcoin. Bitcoin and gold are what? They're appreciating assets that have a finite supply. Bitcoin sitting at 83,000 right now. This one is down nothing. It's up 0.05% today. We had Qs down 5% today. Bitcoin slightly green. I don't know how. The gods smiled upon us. Gold still sitting at all-time highs. You guys get the idea here. 3,100 and some change per ounce. The main point that I'm getting at for this video, and make sure I'll drop the link to the Tesla video right here again. Tesla in comparison to Qs is just way down there, right? Qs is, I mean, this is a full 20 points below March 10th lows, but Tesla, where are we? March 10th, 216, 268. We're up 50 points from March 10th, whereas Qs is down 20. Same with SPY, right? Oops, that's not SPY. SPY down about 15 points from March 10 lows. Tesla not doing too bad. MSTR, that's where you go and buy Bitcoin if you want to trade stocks with it. MSTR, March 10th lows. Where are you? March 10th lows, 232. We're currently trading at 282, up 50 points. You guys getting a theme here? 50 points up on both Tesla and MSTR. These ones I have a long bias on. As soon as the market starts to get a dead cat bounce, start to pivot, sentiment comes in, people realize what tariffs mean, what stocks should be bought regardless of the tariffs that are in place. We're going to get some major bullish action on these. That is it for today's video. I hope that was informative. Make sure to go check out the option selling series as well as the optionscompound.com, or go and take a look at any of my other videos. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good night, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Peace out.